saw him spray painting the wall, or because he got caught.
Can you repeat that again? That's a very important point.
So he actually was able to leave after he spray painted the wall, after he spray painted over the graffiti. He was actually able to leave, go meet up with the other person that he worked with, and then come back around before the officer even attempted to stop him. So if this officer really had a gripe to pick with him because he was spray painting, my fiance didn't run, he walked right past the officer.
And the other co-worker was not accosted or interrogated or addressed. So it would be logical to assume that if he was indeed a suspect, that maybe that would have been an accomplice, and he too should have been the subject of maybe apprehension and questioning, but he was not.
And if there was a crime, why didn't you stop it while the crime was in process?
May I ask the ethnicity of his co-worker?
Mexican. No.
So an Anglo appearance.
To me, he looked Mexican, but he's
Mexican. Okay.
I can't even say that.
That's very interesting.
Who was the first officer who approached?
Officer Talbot. What is his? Yeah, I wrote that down. Talbot.
Talbot.
Yeah, TALBOT, and badge number 1457.
My website is being censored.
Sergeant Steve Williams.
It's being, a lot of people emailed.
I believe so. The sergeant, Jenna? The sergeant, Steve Williams? Yeah.
I'll just change hosting providers. I'll change the URL. I'll have redirects.
I'm not sure who the other
There's ways.
He stayed quiet the whole time. He didn't say anything. He didn't do anything, didn't say right.
Front page.
And the other officer, he knew.
Go to WiFiDangers.com. Pull it up that way. You can pull up other stuff, but they're both down.
I was on Facebook.
So WiFiDangers.com.
Look, I tried.
Okay, try apple666.org.
The one on
We were just there the other night.
Yes.
That's a redirect.
We were just there the other night.
Where?
At McDonald's. I'm the manager of McDonald's in Brookhurst.
Oh, we were just in there talking about the school district.
Yes.
We're a couple of rabble-rousers, but for the right reasons. You know, I've got a family. I'm sticking my neck out. These guys want to crack my head, but, you know, they're not going to get away with running this town like the Wild West. It's not going to happen.
Because I speak out.
So you're telling me he's how old again?
He's 43.
And he's got how many kids?
2 children at home that actually watched the incident take place. They watched
their dad on the ground get electrocuted, even though he was repeatedly saying to stop. He's epileptic.
Right.
Now, am I asking you leading questions, or am I right on the money?
Oh, no, you're right on the money.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure. So these kids, they say anything to the officers?
Yeah, they kept telling him to stop. What
a 9-year-old and an 11-year-old was telling the policeman to stop, and he kept pulling the trigger on the taser? On Martin Luther King Day.
Yes, sir.
So that's what they're going to remember the Kingdom Day as in Fullerton.
Oh, they're still talking about it today. They couldn't wait for me to get here because they want justice. A 9 and 11-year-old, they want justice. So
there is a possibility that he could have possibly even died, because we know that if in the back it's a little different, but
he was not just tased once, he was tased twice, and the second time it was continuous.
How many pulses do you think they put into him?
I have no
on the
clue.
Second one.
I have no clue. I just know he was jolting. After like 2 times of him jolting, he stopped jolting, even though the officer was still pushing it. So he had already been paralyzed by it.
He couldn't get up on his own.
He could not. He took 3 officers to pick him up, and he still couldn't stand.
Unbelievable. A 9-year-old and an 11-year-old, and they attend school in Fullerton here. So you're residents. You've been here for some time.
Yes.
You're law-abiding, tax-paying members of the community.
Yes.
You're a manager at a restaurant.
Yes.
And he's gainfully employed as a maintenance worker at an apartment. How long has he been working for the apartment complex?
Oh, about a year and a half.
And so once again, he was working with another individual.
Yes.
And he was spray painting white paint on a white fence, and he was being observed for several minutes.
Right.
And he even actually went to go visit his other coworker,
and then returned. And then returned and came back around.
Was this officer alone, or did he have?
He was alone.
And he approached your fiance when he was alone.
Yes.
And when backup arrived, he had already been on the ground.
He had already tased him the second time.
He put him down.
Right.
So, if there were 2 suspects, which apparently he was supposedly mistaken for a suspect,
right,
and maybe his associate could have been construed as another suspect, it would logically follow that they would have waited for backup before they would have approached him. But they didn't.
And if he saw him doing something wrong, he gave him time to go back into the complex, into the garage, come back out of the complex, and go around before he even stopped him. before he said anything to him.
There's no method to this madness.
Yeah, it
There
doesn't
really
make
isn't.
sense.
Okay. Thank you once again.
Thank you.
Can you repeat that?
I said, don't call 911 or Fullerton PD between Thursdays and Saturday nights, because if you do, they're going
They're
to tell
too
you
busy
that their
downtown
officers
Fullerton.
are too busy downtown, and they'll get to us when they can.
Wow.
And then about 2 hours later, they'll send 5 officers.
Okay, after they